Hello and welcome to another episode of Fridays with the Chakontas. This is episode 10 when we are reviewing the show Blue Therapy in Love and Toxic or In Love or Toxic?
In Love and Toxic.
In Love and Toxic. And we are reviewing episode 4.
Yes.
And if you want to look at the other ones we've reviewed, we'll leave them in the description. And yeah, disclaimer before we continue is we are not endorsing the show.
Yeah.
Especially for us, we're actually critiquing the show from a biblical perspective
Mm-hmm.
and trying to find ways of how we can speak from a biblical lens when we're looking at when we consume things that are in public domain. So I think this is talking about relationships, and we think God has got a heart for relationships. So we need to speak what God actually says about relationships.
Yeah.
Some of these things will probably our views,
Yes, definitely.
but we'll try our best to always be biblical as much as we
As
can.
much as we can, absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah, how do we start today?
I think it would be quite nice to start with a new couple because we're introduced to yet another new couple.
Okay. So,
So we've got Lucky and Anna.
yeah.
So we've got a 23-year-old male
Yeah.
in a relationship with a 31-year-old male.
No.
Female.
Female, yeah.
Who has 2 children.
Yeah.
They haven't made it clear whether these children are by him, but it sounds like they're not.
No, because they
haven't made it explicitly clear.
They've been only dating.
They've only been dating for 11 months, isn't
yeah.
it?
So
11 months.
They definitely know this.
Oh, so it's that's
Yeah.
true actually. So we have that relationship. So tell me, Hasbe, what do you think about Lucky and Anna?
There's a lot, but I think one of the things that their segment was really short. But one of the things that we learned is Anna is really something, to be honest. I think when you see her, she's really demanding so much from a 23-year-old. And it's not even about the age, because if he's ready to be in a relationship, he should be ready to take responsibility. And when he takes responsibility, he should be able to take that responsibility and also the demands that the house needs.
Yeah.
But I think for her, it's more of her demands are way too much and way too demanding.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the things that she was saying was like, he's working 5 days a week as a doctor?
In healthcare? She didn't say what he does.
In healthcare. And she wants him to take 3 days and go get another job because the money that they're getting is not enough. And this woman is sitting at home doing nothing.
Yeah, so he's supposed to work 3 long days. So do the same hours, but rather than do them over 5 hours, do them over 3 days.
Yeah.
So that he can use the other time to find another job. And on top of that, he said he's studying.
Yeah. And that is just to meet her needs.
Exactly.
And she just wants to stay at home. And I'm just like, that is really unrealistic.
Yeah,
And
and
I
we haven't
think-
found out what she does for work. She did say I'm a full-time mother. And she said something about working 5 days in a month.
I think I wouldn't do it personally.
If you were the gentleman.
No.
Yeah.
I can't let somebody be so demanding. Those kids, okay, if you're going to get into a relationship, you have to also understand the woman in the relationship has got kids.
Mhm.
So you have to also take an ownership of saying, I will be there for these kids if that's the agreement.
Yeah.
But also on top of that, she also needs to understand that she should not take advantage of me based on me loving her regardless of all the situation that we're in.
Yes.
It's a very complex situation. It means the people who she had kids with these people, how involved are they?
Mm-hmm.
And how are we moving forward in a relationship for us to do this?
Yeah.
But with all her demands and basically saying you're not working hard enough because we need extra money, and I'm just like, I don't think you're respecting how much I'm actually doing.
I know, and I think, like obviously we're looking at this because they're dating.
Yeah.
But even in marriage, like if let's just say they were married, that's asking a lot from your partner. Because I mean, if my husband's working already, or 3 long days,
Yeah.
that's for me. I'm like, that's it. Like that's 3 long days. You are exhausted and you're tired.
Yeah.
Most of the time, 3 long days in healthcare is maybe they might be spread over 5 days. Actually, maybe it might be 2 days and then you have a day off and then another. So it's 4 days. So what energy do you have to bring home? Time for us, and then for you to also study as well as go and find another job. It's like you just want this gentleman for the money. And are you really looking at his welfare? Are you looking at his mental state? Because I could, working 3 long days is enough.
Yeah.
So you can imagine this gentleman wants to work, he's working and studying.
Yeah.
And depending on the type of job that he's doing, how demanding it is, even if it isn't, he needs time to rest.
Yeah.
So are you just wanting him for the money, or are you actually looking after his well-being? And he sounds like he's 23. Let's just think about that. And he's 23 years old. He's got a full-time job. He is studying. He's doing well.
No, but I understand where you're coming from. But I think sometimes we overemphasize. He's not young. That's not young. I think some people think because he's 23, he's young. The thing we need to always have, if you're ready to step into a relationship, you're old enough to take those responsibilities.
Yeah.
Let's not. I think sometimes we always sugarcoat the aspect of he's too young. But if he's too young, then don't get into that relationship. Don't make, because people get married at 23. People get married at 21. 18, 19, people get married and people are committed to I don't recommend it. I think a long time I would, but I would not okay, to be honest, anybody who wants to do it, you always have to gauge for yourselves what works best for you. I think for me, probably I wasn't mature enough to get married at probably 23.
Okay.
Even when we got married, I think there was a lot of probably other immature things that we got to learn. And I got married at what, 26? You got 25?
Yeah.
And
I was a baby.
Yeah, we were so young.
I know. What were we thinking? We were in love.
But it worked out for us.
It does. It's worked. I mean, it's fun. Obviously we're talking about maturity, but I feel like I've grown a lot in, I don't know how many years that is, 5, whatever years.
We're 7, almost 7.
Babe, I was just trying to, not, tell my age, Okay. But yeah, I was just trying to, but we've grown a lot. And when we look back and we laugh about it, we're like, but we probably weren't mature enough for that. But we were mature enough to understand that we wanted to get married, that we loved each other, we loved God, and that was enough.
Yeah.
And it was good. It was fine. It's just that now that we're older, now imagine what we're gonna think when we're like 40 and 50, looking back. Because I just genuinely feel like there's a level of maturity that has just naturally been coming.
Yeah.
And at 25, I thought I knew a lot.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I really didn't know a lot.
Yeah.
But I knew good stuff. I knew enough. But I just think there's a natural maturity that comes with age. That is not just about, because maturity can be attained in different ways, experience, age and all that. But there is a natural maturity, I think, that comes with age.
Just a quick question. Do you think, has that relaxed your mind, especially when people are in relationships? Because does that give you an opportunity to say, look, I thought I knew, but I did not know? And when somebody's in a relationship, do you give them the chance to say, okay, you know what? I did not know all those things. So you give them more leeway to basically make those mistakes? Or has that prepared you to even be more forceful in giving advice because you did not know at that time?
No, I think more the latter. I think I need to even relax a bit more and be like, I've learnt my ways and you will have your moment to learn yours.
Yeah.
But I do think that it has given me more, to say that, I thought I knew it. And I feel like I did know quite a lot. We were good. We were good. Our courtship was good. Our date, got courtship dating. Like we were intentional. You weren't fooling around. We were straightforward. We went for it and we did good. Like, and I don't regret it in that, it was good. Like because otherwise would have spent the next few years trying to date for what? Because we both knew that we wanted to get married and we'd found the person.
Yeah.
But I think now I am more on the advice side of, it's not as simple as it is.
Yeah.
Because I think we knew a lot about it theoretically, but practically, and every marriage is different. So no matter what, even if we got married at 21 and someone else got married at, like, every home is different. I think the key is who you marry.
Yeah. So we've digressed a little bit. So
Yes.
back to that couple, Lucky and Anna.
So yeah, you're right. 23 is not all that young.
Yeah, it's not
But
that
they
young.
do have a massive. I do feel like there is a massive age gap.
Yeah.
And I'm not. I'm not like, when your age is, I do agree about age being nothing but a number, that kind of thing. But obviously, as long as it's not, like you're it's a 16, 15, 17-year-old and you're 30, that kind of. But I think as you grow older, that age gaps will still be there, but it's not as significant. But I do feel like a 23-year-old self of like me and a 31-year, I do feel like that is a huge, because in your 20s, there's a lot of growth that happens. There is a lot of growth. And at 31, she knows a lot more about what she wants and how to get it. And perhaps, I don't know, I wonder if there could be a bit of manipulation there. I don't know. Because it does seem to be like, this is what I want. I like her. I want to be in a relationship with this woman. But I don't know. I don't know if we haven't seen enough to see the mature side of it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's just a good guy, a 23-year-old who's got his head on straight, knows what he wants, but still there is that little, are you able? But the thing is, he gets it. He says kept on asking her a question. I can't remember, like, what do you want from me? Or he kept on asking her a question, like, what? Oh, I can't remember it, but I'll probably remember it for the next time we speak. But he can see, but I'm like, so what is it that this woman is giving you? What are you taking from this relationship? Because I can see what he's giving.
Yeah.
But I don't know what he's taking.
Yeah.
What is she giving him that he can't get? Well, not that he can't, but yeah. Like, is there some, I don't know. It did worry about a bit of I don't know. It made me think about cohesive kind of relationship. I don't know. It's just the chemistry. I don't know.
But
maybe a bit unsettled.
Yeah, but on that question, I think if we view it that way of what are you giving me, I think this is sometimes maybe where there's a danger in relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're saying, look, I'm giving A, B, C, D, what are you giving? Then we're basically measuring our input into this relationship. I'm not saying it's wrong, but if that's the main focus, it becomes more of, I did this, what are you going to do? And it becomes more transactional, and instead of, it becomes an aspect of love.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think this is the issue now when we're talking about it from a biblical perspective. And I think looking at it from a biblical perspective, there is nothing wrong for her being a housewife and trying to raise her kids. It's honorable for her.
That is a hard job.
Yeah, it's a hard job.
Hey.
But I think the way she's basically saying, I'm doing this, respect that. And he respects that. But I feel she's not respecting his effort out there. And she's saying we need more. I'm like, what do you mean we need more?
For what? For extras, for holidays? Because even with what he I don't even know how much, because he was like, we go on holidays.
I know.
We have spas, we go to concerts, I'm just like, what more do you want from this guy, woman? Like, you're gonna lose a good guy. Like, the thing is, you're just dating. You're not even married, and he's giving you husband goods.
Energy.
Yeah, that's it. Husband energy. And maybe you are giving wife energy, but you're doing this, and you're still wanting more. What is enough? And I think it appears that she's had the experience of getting more from guys.
Mm-hmm.
And, he does keep asking her, from my looks, from what you saw, you thought I had money.
Yeah.
And her facial expressions, and she didn't even say no. She knew. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with wanting someone who earns a particular salary, because I don't really think there's anything particularly wrong with that. But if is that a driving factor? It seems that is a driving factor for her. That is the priority for her.
Yeah.
A man who can meet her needs at a certain level, and therefore that certain level requires a certain level of salary, a certain grade of salary.
Yeah. And I think it's just it's really off.
Honestly,
the introduction we've been given from her, especially, she looks like the worst out of the two.
Yes, but we haven't really got to see the other parts, isn't it?
Got to see a lot about them. But I think from just the conversation, she wants a lot. She's like, she'll work this man to his deathbed, to be honest, just to get some money for her to relax. And I think that's not loving. It's not loving.
No, it isn't. And the thing is, they're even planning to have children.
Yeah.
They're like, next year. I don't even know if they are planning, because I feel like he said she wants another one next year. It didn't feel like it was a wee situation, although I think he did admit that he wants to have children.
Yeah.
But I'm like, so you're planning to have children. One, first of all, where's your relationship going? You're not planning to bring children there's already 2 children. You're trying to bring another child and start a family. You've already said you have a 5-year goal, and his 5-year goal is only going to be 28.
Okay, but let me ask you a question. Let me play
the devil's advocate.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let me play that. What if that is somebody who's intentional?
Who?
And saying, look, I'm not here to mess around. I've got to go. I need to be married. I need to have kids at this time. She's intentional.
She did say.
She wants to be intentional with her relationship.
That's fine, but they're not married. My problem is they're trying to plan for children when they're not married.
But what if that is a conversation? Let's hypothetically say they're in a courtship stage.
Yeah.
They've got a direction. Because other people were just saying they've been dating with no direction.
Yeah.
This is a woman now who's come, I'm a direction driven. I don't want to waste time.
Mm-hmm.
We're in this 11 months. Let's start going.
Okay.
How would you answer that? And for her, she's like, because I know we have to get to a point of where I need commitment.
I just think the thing is, a lot of the times people tell you and show you who they are. You just have to decide whether you want to be with that person. So she's shown him who she is, and if he's cool with that, that's his choice.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's anything we can do about that. But he knows that something ain't right. But he continues to pursue her. There are reasons that we probably don't know.
I think there are more red flags.
There are a lot more red flags, because she even kissed an ex and then went to the house and doesn't say what they did. Why did she kiss an ex and then go to the house? What were they doing there? But in her defense, I must say, the way she described it was that it was at the beginning when they hadn't made a commitment to each other.
Yeah.
It suggests that they were still in the trying and, tried this one, tried this one, tried this one.
Yeah.
So in her defense, it's a bit of like the Rachel and what is it? Rachel friends situation, but they were on a break. So, but anyway, it's if that's the case, this is why it's good to make your intentions very clear at the beginning and make the boundaries very clear. Are we an item? And this item, where is it going? Not, I'm still seeing, because she was like, I even texted him to say I was going out with my ex. So it's just,
but I think there's a process of where I think personally, if people are giving their hearts and sharing emotions, regardless if there is an unspoken rule of treat my heart with care. If I'm giving you time, energy, and you can see us even progressing somewhere, you have to treat my heart with care. It's selfish for you to want my time and energy and not treat my heart with care. Yeah. And I think this is what I think both women and men. There has to be a level of, if you are pursuing somebody in the aspects of either relationship, I think for us it's even biblically we have this marriage.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be a way of we have to treat each other's hearts with care.
Yeah.
And I think even scripture tells us, like, the way we interact, men and women, tells us in Timothy, treat your sisters, treat the women in the church like sisters. and the sisters treat them like brothers. And be careful with those situations.
Yeah.
Because once you now open a can of worms and then you're saying you're not committed to me, it just brings a level of a lot of things that are not wanted in a relationship.
Yeah.
And I think this is when there's an attraction between you guys, before you engage in anything, know what your intentions are, and your intentions should be pure. Before you even go any further, if you think it's not going a particular way, be honest. Stop it, or come to a point of where you're saying we need to address A, B, C, D. Because dating, that's why I'm not very keen on that, on the way dating, the way people date casually. Because casual dating is very fickle. Fickle. Is it, how do you say it?
Oh, you're asking the wrong one, babe. Fickle.
Fickle, yeah?
I don't know. I'll Google
It's
it.
very, okay. Please help us with that word. It's very loose. I would say loose. I'm trying to be smart here, but yeah, it's very loose in the way we interact. And I think because of that, the looseness can come with a lot of danger. Yeah. So anything that you want to add on them?
No, actually, I think that's enough on those two, to be fair.
What's the next couple?
So we've got quite a few. We've got quite a lot going on. So we can go to Tunde and Mary.
Yeah.
Because there's a big thing, but actually we can get, there's not a lot, and then maybe go to.
I don't think they've like showed Tunde and Mary.
They haven't showed them a lot
in the therapy session.
No,
I think a lot of things we've been learning is about the background things.
Yes.
So the background issue is that Tunde's car got scratched up by somebody.
Who is it's being suspected is the woman who's left an initial.
And then Marie is now confused and saying, "What's happening? How can your car be scratched up like that?"
So, but he's not telling the truth. And I think he knows why. He knows who.
Yes.
And he tells his friend.
He tells his friend that he's expecting
a fourth
baby
child.
I'm just like, and the baby is getting
child.
It's not with Marie.
And it ain't Marie.
And I'm just like, the friend is just like,
Are you serious?
What's going on?
A fourth child.
And I'm just like,
Tunde, you serious?
I know.
I'm just like, at this point, I don't even know what they're doing together.
No, they should just stop now, because
they should just leave it.
Yeah, because I'm just like that.
It ain't making sense.
Yeah, I don't know if they've gone back together just recently, but it doesn't.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, it's like because they've told us how long they've been together.
Yeah.
Over time, like back and forth.
Yeah.
But I don't know when they, whether this happened in the break.
Yeah.
And he now has a fourth child, and the question is it one of the other baby mothers, or is it someone new?
Yeah, but okay, this is another question I have for you women. I'm not generalizing.
Yeah, you are.
But more on the women's side. I'm just like, how can you be going for a person who's got children all over the place?
But sometimes you men lie. You lie. You say you don't have any children. So you don't know. You just be like, no. Or sometimes it's a casual thing.
No,
or sometimes it's...
I think this man, it's nothing about lying. This girl knows he's got children all over the place.
You mean Marie? Sorry, I'm thinking about the girl who's currently pregnant, because we don't know. So I'm like, if it's the same, if it's one of the baby mamas, she might be thinking a lot of things, and they might be thinking they're getting back together. But if it's a new girl, he might have lied and said nothing, or it might be a one-night stand. But if it's Marie, then yes, Marie has a problem.
Yeah. And I'm just like, if somebody, it just shows a lack of discipline.
Yeah.
Somebody having kids all over the place. And I'm just saying, look, if that's the way you want it to be done, that's okay. But I'm just thinking on a biblical sense. And then with also Tunde's attitude, his attitude is more on the side of, what did he say in the first episode about?
He said, marriage is not a piece of paper. I'm not signing a piece of paper.
But also saying, if she had kids.
Oh yeah, he wouldn't be with her.
Yeah. So he's like,
that's saying a lot, because you can have men, there's different categories. There's people who actually recognize that, okay, what I've been doing is not good, or all of these happened in circumstances that I cannot explain, and I have just found myself in a situation. I know it's rare, but I'm just trying to say, it's possible, that there's some good guys out there that this has happened to, and they found themselves in a situation where they have multiple children, 3, 4, 5 children. But this guy is genuine, and he has changed. Or he is able to give a very good reason as to why that is the case.
Yeah.
But in the situation of Tunde, he has literally explained to you in so many ways, in black and white, to say he has 3 children. These are his priority. He wants you because you look good, and he doesn't want you if you had children. He doesn't want you if your body was to change in a different shape if you were to carry children. And yeah, like, and then you still go for it.
Yep.
And he tells you, you've said to yourself, I feel like Marie is so confused as to what is her priority.
But
because she keeps saying,
but let's disclaim, Marie does not know this at this point.
oh yeah, at this point she does not know that he's expecting a 4th baby.
Yeah.
But even the fact that everything that Tunde has said to Marie there's a lot of red flags already.
Yeah.
The fact that he said, you've said you want to get married, but this guy has said he does not want to get married.
Yeah.
He now says you behave and act like a prostitute. And even in his apology, he's like, let's call a spade a spade. You act like one.
So what is he then?
Shh. You asking me? Good question. Oh my days.
And anyways, it's so messy.
But yes, that's the bottom line. And I think that is the bottom line, is that we're expecting, Tunde is expecting a 4th child.
Yeah. And I think if we have to now go from a biblical side, I'm saying, like, look, we agree children are a blessing. But I'm saying, look, if you want to make commitments with somebody, understand and have direction. If children are involved, this is very serious. This is another burden that you also need to understand. If I'm going to be in a relationship with somebody with children and they're coming in, it's another side of it's a whole dynamics of just you guys starting your life together.
Therefore,
there has to be a level of understanding of saying, how am I going to be a parent to these children?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to love these children like the way, because I love the partner I'm joining with? And how are we going to move forward in this situation? But in their sense, it just seems as if there's a level of distrust. Tunde is always defensive. And I think sometimes, sometimes I feel like I'm always going through this pendulum of just saying, Tunde looks good this time because Marie looks so bad. But I'm like, there's some times where I feel like Marie looks so bad, she makes Tunde look good, but Tunde is bad.
They're just in a toxic relationship.
But you know what? The problem I find is that Tunde, I feel like sometimes there's this side of where I think because Marie is bad, then Tunde is good. But Tunde has never been good.
No, he's never.
He's just been bad, and he's been consistently bad.
And he just keeps piling and piling and piling.
Yeah.
And Marie's like, I've got 1 foot in and 1 foot out. What are you doing then? What are you doing? Get out. Like, this doesn't make sense.
Yeah, but I think she's at the stage of where she's frustrated. As they're coming into the couch, she's frustrated and she feels she wants answers.
But she knows, us women do have intuition.
Yeah.
There is something about us and intuition. She knows it's another girl. Yeah. And that's the thing. It's true. What guy is going to be so angry? Or even if somebody you've upset the way that car was keyed was definitely a woman's job. It was a woman who was angry. I just can't imagine a man I feel like if a man was angry, I'd have probably smashed the windows or something. I know I'm stereotyping, but that was a stereotypical woman's job. Literally scratched the car, then had time to remove the BMW label. A man would have just smashed all the keys up. Don't have time to now be like, let me just make it hurt where it hurts. And then leaves an initial. Yeah. And then Tunde thinks he can lie himself out of that. Like, that is clear. What man have you angered Tunde that they're going to leave their initials?
Yeah.
It's a woman who does things like that. It's us who will think crazy things like that. And he wants to get out and he wants to lie about it.
I know.
Anyway, let's move on, please.
And he lies with so much confidence.
He does. He makes you feel like you're the one who's crazy.
I know.
And she was like, no, I knew something wasn't right. He asked to drive my car and and then he's trying to hide. But I knew something was. We have a lot of intuition.
Yeah.
In general, as people. But yeah, Tunde is. You're right, baby. He's been bad from the beginning, and we shouldn't even be surprised.
I know. Anything you want to add on them?
No.
Yeah. So, what's the next couple we're going to go
Let's
to?
go to Ray and Sean.
Okay. Yeah. So, what's happening?
Oh, I don't know. Do I really want to go to Ray and Sean? Anyway, let's go.
So, what's happening? So, you can maybe tell us a little bit about Ray and Sean.
So, Ray and Sean, we've had that really difficult conversation in the previous episode where they brought out their emotions and what had happened transpired in their relationship. And from that conversation, it seemed as if things were moving forward.
Yeah.
Things were moving in the right direction. Mm-hmm. And then the show opens up with both of them at a restaurant where Sean has taken Ray to, that he's like, oh, I want to show you how much I care about you. I'm going to treat you to a nice, whatever, whether it was a meal or lunch or brunch. So they've gone somewhere, I think it looked like near London Bridge or something. And they're seated in there. They've done it, they've done a toast and all coupley stuff. You're even feeling the vibes,
Mm-hmm.
And then, oh, sorry, that was me looking down. Excuse me. And then Sean now goes, I've got something I need to tell you since we're all in the space of transparency.
Yeah.
He now says that the girl, like her best friend, because sometimes Ray calls that girl my best friend or my close friend. That's them girl that's been popping up. Who Sean was saying, oh, she gets a bit too touchy with me when I come to your house.
Yeah.
He now says they met, they matched on Tinder. They met up and they had an encounter in the car. They did everything apart from sexual intercourse in the car.
Yeah.
And this is when he's decided to tell her.
But he told her that was before we met.
But that happened before he met Ray.
And Ray was not impressed.
Oh no, she wasn't. But I was so proud of her.
Yeah.
How she handled that.
Yeah. Do you feel like do you think I've got a lot of things? I understand now why she did that.
Why she did what?
Because she's also having a secret.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. At the time, I didn't know. Yeah. But at the time, I was thinking, I'm so proud of you for everything that we've seen. You've got attitude. You roll your eyes. You disrespect this guy. The Ray that we have seen would be. It's true what Sean said. I expected her to be smashing this place up. Yeah. The Ray that we have seen would have been smashing that place up, but she didn't. She just got up and walked away.
Yeah.
And then they went to therapy.
Yeah, and then in the therapy, what happened?
Tell us, babe. She disclosed herself, her problems too.
Her problems. And I think I think one of the things is like, he's afraid to tell her the truth sometimes because she's already labeled him a liar.
But he lies.
And no, but I think sometimes, even though somebody lies, when you keep on telling them, you're a liar, it becomes more of, you want to defend yourself when you don't even need to defend yourself.
I know, but why does he lie a lot though? Because now I get why she calls him a liar. Because from the beginning, he's been lying a lot.
No, but because it becomes the way women come aggressively, it becomes a defensive mechanism, which is not right. But that's the only way he can address his emotions. For basically saying, I don't want to confront Ray in the state of where she's angry with me and calling me names. But even though the more he holds on, the more it comes out. Again.
But he lied about his age. He lied that time when he was sick. He lied. He lies. And I get it now. He's just like, you lied. So where's the trust?
But do you understand what I mean?
I get what you mean. I get the fear, but it doesn't. I don't, because you're still a liar.
Okay, yeah. And I think, like we've said before, it's from a biblical perspective, the trust is not there. And I think when somebody lies, I think it starts to build the trust, break the trust.
Therefore.
And when the trust is broken in a particular way, it's very hard for it to be rebelled. Especially, I think that's why it's very hard. Like sometimes we also think like it just takes one little small thing to break trust.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's easier said than done. Mm-hmm. Although I think there's a level of where we should be having forgiving hearts, bearing with one another, understanding. But there's also a level that we go through where we say we're disappointed. And I think there is a level of how do we heal from that disappointment?
Mm.
And I think that is the situation that they're going through. And not only just in relationships, even just with friends. If
Mhm.
somebody does something wrong to you and you trusting them again,
Mm.
it becomes very hard.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, how do we move on?
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is now where it comes from the other side of when we look at the gospel. There's a level of where God trusted us, but we broke that trust by disobeying in the Garden of Eden. And now our sin is now rampant. But we see that God does not look at us from that sense of us being sinners. Although we know he's going to judge sin, but there's also the other side of where he shows his love towards us, pursues us. And when he pursues us, he wants us now to be part of his family, inviting us and saying, I'm going to now make all things new. Our relationship starts from scratch. Whatever happened in the past is forgotten. And that's the level of the beauty of the gospel. It shows us how God is forgiving and intentional to the point of where he sends his son to take away the sin, the brokenness between us, the separation that has now, where the distrust has now gone. He's now going to mend it through his son, the Lord Jesus Christ. And I think that now comes also into also relationships. If God is the center of the relationship, whatever is going to happen in that relationship, and I think, to be honest, regardless of what we say, sometimes people say if it's infidelity or everything in the relationship, I'm gone, and especially in the context of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like God understands our hearts on certain things, but you see also some clauses that are put in scripture. You can leave, but you can't get remarried.
Yeah.
You can do A, B, C, D. He understands the emotions that we're going through. If you want to go back to the one who you're married to.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those things put an emphasis of there is always room for reconciliation.
Yeah.
It's never too late.
Yeah,
No matter
it's
how
true.
broken we are and how that thing has watched us, we can still forgive one another.
It's true.
And I think that is the beauty that we can see when we're looking at it from a context of what's this, of just on a biblical context. So regardless of what Sean is scared of, he can also understand but this if he's looking from it from a biblical perspective, but he's not at the moment.
No.
He's just afraid.
Yeah.
And I think from that, then we get to understand Rain is also hiding something.
Yeah, she is. What did she say?
She went to Paris and then got with some guy.
Yeah, but we didn't get any more detail. She said they didn't do anything.
Yeah.
But I don't. Yeah, they didn't go into details. I think
She
that's
said
where
it wasn't sexual. I think on the advert for the next episode, it wasn't sexual, but I think something happened.
Yeah, I think maybe she didn't tell. She told him there was no guy involved or something, because the way she said it is as if they've mentioned it before, unless we've not picked up on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basically she's also been hiding something, because it seems that maybe he asked and she said no.
Yeah.
But actually there was a guy, and I guess we will find out a bit more, and that might explain why, like you said, her reaction was not as what we expected from Ray.
Yeah. So yeah, I think they're just a little bit sneak peeks on these relationships. So do you have, what's the next relationship we're gonna
We've
look
got
at?
Tang and Temi, who are the last ones we'll speak about today.
Yeah. What happened with them?
So they were talk. I think a lot of it was about culture.
Yeah.
So like understanding each other's culture. So they were given the homework to be spontaneous with one another. So they came back and gave good feedback about that. So it seems like things were going well in that direction. And then the other problem they brought to the table was respect in relation to different cultures.
Yeah.
Where Temi felt that Tang was not taking her culture seriously.
Yeah.
You know, she for example, she gave an example of how, because she said she is half Nigerian and half Caribbean.
Yeah.
And so, you know, her Nigerian dad would expect, as a form of respect for a gentleman, you know, when they come in to greet him, to prostrate, to bow down as a form of greeting, to demonstrate
level of respect.
But because we know from our previous descriptions of Tang and seeing him, he tends to take a lot of things as jokes and laughs. So he was just like, No, never. Me, I would never bow down to any man,
Yeah.
So even if, because I think, yes, hearing him say that, because I'm African, I feel like, whoa, that is so disrespectful. But actually, you also have to understand his culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you also have to look at, what does bowing down mean in his culture?
Yeah.
It could mean a lot of things where you're just like, you're not, in his culture, maybe you only bow down to someone, to God, for example. And so it's like, no, I will not bow down to a man. I will only bow down to God. So, although hearing him say that, you need to understand, I feel like, for me, I was like, oh, whoa, but I had to look, take a step back and be like, I'm reacting like this because, I've got a lot of friends who are Nigerian, and I've heard them say that. And even for us, we kneel down as a form of respect in greeting people who are older than you.
Yeah.
So it's not so strange, but I can understand why it might be strange in a different culture.
Yeah.
But it's just about respecting that. And if you feel like, you know what, I feel like this is why I feel like I cannot bow down. The way he just jokes about everything, I feel like that is the disrespect.
Yeah.
Because I feel like he could have communicated that in a respectful manner to her, where she could have understood where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Rather than him making a joke-ish or comment like that. Because in doing that, he's disrespecting her as well, which is, I think, is what you were saying.
Yeah, yeah. And especially that they're raising a child who's bicultural, I'll say, if that's a word. Or, she's biracial and bicultural. And because of that, now she needs to learn both sides of that culture. And I think just for the sense of understanding that her mom comes from a different culture, I should make an effort.
Yeah.
And I think this is another thing, also multicultural dating.
Yeah, like we were talking about before.
Yeah, so with multicultural dating, there has to be a level of understanding each other's culture. It's not even just multicultural, it's also just even just different countries, to be honest.
Yeah, no, like I think it is in multicultural, because just you might
multiracial. I meant multiracial.
Oh, it's not just multiracial. It is also multicultural.
Yeah.
We might be, for example, you're from a different tribe to me. We're both from Zambia, but you're of a different tribe, and so am I. And there might be elements of our cultures or our tribes that are different. So we need to understand that. We need to have a discussion about that.
Yeah.
We need to see, how does it work in my tribe? How does it work in your tribe? So going forward, how does it work between us? How do we interact with our families? And how do we translate that to our children?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that is a conversation that should be had with anybody.
Yeah, and that's true. And I think sometimes
in any relationship,
Yeah, because even just like certain things, like maybe even from our family, like you probably see like maybe something that you may feel is respectful.
Yeah.
Somebody may feel, no, that's not respectful. I can't do that as probably a sister-in-law or somebody like that. I can't do that.
Yeah.
And then you are saying, but I expect you to do that from my culture. I expect you to do it.
Yes, it brings a lot of, because even with us, with just the different tribes, all from the same country, with some of us speaking the same language, we get a lot of tension as a result of that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of.
Don't you think like doing those things like for us, like we do the kitchen party, the Chilangamolilo, isn't like that inviting people and saying, if you're gonna come to our house, this is what we cook? Isn't that like also invite? Do they do it? Do you think they do it in detail?
I think that over time, certain things have been diluted.
Yeah. And
this is what a lot of, what me and Lydia talk about on our YouTube channel, and we're due to talk about it more in depth. Lifers. So yes, please follow Lifers. We go into detail, and we've got quite a really nice topic on culture.
Yeah.
Or a nice series on culture coming up.
Yeah.
But a lot of these things I think have been diluted. I think there's an element of dilution. There's an element of where people copy certain cultures, and sometimes we're losing it.
Yeah.
And I think the concepts are great. So we have a kitchen party. So a kitchen party is where, sometimes called, these days people are now calling it a bridal shower. So it stems from the idea of when a woman is getting married, she's starting a new kitchen. So you invite a lot of women you have an event where you invite women only, to come and give advice to her. And as a gift, they tend to bring, they would bring gifts for the kitchen, for her to start her kitchen.
Yeah.
But with time, things have changed, so it's no longer just a kitchen party. You don't have to bring just gifts for the kitchen. It's sort of evolved in one way good, in one way, I don't know, it's a bit, questionable, but that's for, we'll discuss it in the other topics. But yeah, that's what a kitchen party is in summary.
If you want to know more, you can go on Lifers.
Oh gosh, too many Lifers, Lydia. Life as YouTube channel. And yes, we'll talk more about that. But there's, and then the Chilanga Mlilo that my husband was saying, oh, I wonder between us, because I was just thinking of the way you pronounce Chilanga Mlilo. I was just like, oh my days. And then now I've just hear myself in my headphones pronouncing Chilanga Mlilo, and I thought I pronounced it better than you, like a proper African way.
Yeah. I didn't pronounce it well.
Well, I think yours was better hearing myself. I'm like, oh goodness. So Chilanga Mlilo is where, so you have a woman. So you have the woman and the man are getting married. So before they get married, the woman will prepare, or the woman, not just the woman, but the woman's side of the family will prepare a variety of dishes that they will go and present to the husband to be. And just to the essence is that they will prepare this food to say, look, this is the kind of food you can be expecting to find at home. This is the kind of food that I will be cooking for you.
Yeah.
But as society and life and things have changed, I do love the concept, I do, but things have changed. I mean, I had 80% of that food this man doesn't even eat.
So yeah, but based on the question,
that is,
you don't think it touches more on the culture thing? It's just more on.
So I don't think those touch on, and I think, and that's why I came. I went about the bush and did it, talking about it, because I feel like over time some of the concepts and the realness of that has been lost as we've tried to, make it, I don't know, a public thing, or make it more
commercial.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think the concepts and probably the ground of it is good, and was was supposed to bring up, an element of culture. And even in that teaching, the woman's been taught, this, not teaching, the advice from women, you can be advising each other on marriage and but over time, I think there isn't much of that cultural element to learn. I think you're gonna learn more by you and your partner conversating now, like what can be expected from a culture. What you will have a bit, but I think because everything also happens so close to the wedding, there's just a lot of stress, a lot of it's not a good environment to learn something new. Yeah. Because it's like it becomes an occasion, an event, and you can imagine an event being stressful and things like that.
Yeah, and just to add on them, I think the positive side of this was at the end where he basically said he would try.
Yes, I think that was good. I think he was able to take a step back and recognize that actually I need to be a bit more intentional. Mm-hmm. And I think it's if you are marrying, or you are, you're marrying someone of a different culture, you don't have to like the food. You don't but it's quite nice when someone says, oh, I want to try it.
Yeah.
If I mean, we're lucky because we're both from the same country, but if you were not from Zambia, it would have been really nice for you to say, I want to come to Zambia. I want to see where you come from. Yeah. It just, I don't know. It just, it shows an interest. It's not really, I think sometimes we miss it. It's not really about the food. It's about me.
Yeah.
Are you understanding where I'm from? Are you understanding what this means? Are you understanding my culture? And also, are you respecting it?
Yeah.
And are you respecting that because you want me, you're going to do some things that you wouldn't normally do because you want to please my dad. I mean, for me, I wouldn't think bowing down is such a big deal, but obviously if he sees it as that, I think there's also a level of compromise that she also has to give
from
to
him, from his side,
it has to go both ways because he also has a culture.
yeah. And yeah, I think when we're looking at it from that aspect of he has a culture, the good thing we can also see it from a biblical perspective is I think God values culture
Mm.
because we see this reflecting in the new heavens and the new earth, where every tongue, tribe, and nation is there.
Yeah.
And because it's there, it's like basically God is saying, I value the diversity that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
And because there's a diversity aspect in the context of the new heavens, we also see it in the context of the church. So we shouldn't undermine the aspect of saying that somebody comes from a different culture.
Yeah.
There has to be a level. If they come from a different culture, let's learn. Let's be able to be people who are invested in our brothers and sisters, not just because we're getting married to them, but let's learn and try to understand where they come from,
Mm-hmm.
so we can be able to be more understanding, to be more informed about their way of life, so that we can also understand, oh, even though people are different from us, God is still working in their context and actually bringing people to the saving knowledge. And the banner of the aspect of the context where we are now, as in different people all united in Christ, that's a beautiful thing. And we have to say the beauty is that God has still united us and brought us together. And when we are united and He's brought us together, there's now a level of how, when we're investing in one another, we're not only just saying we're investing on each other from a spiritual side, which is good, but we're investing in each other, we're doing life together.
Yeah.
The more we do life together, the more we want to understand each other and their way of living, and not dismissing it,
Mm-hmm.
because God also loves the way they're made and their fabric and the way they grew up. He loves that because it's presented in the new heavens and the new earth.
Yeah.
And I think that's a good thing. We can see that God does appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Is there anything you want to add on this couple? Is there any more couples?
No, I think that's it. I feel
Really?
like we're missing one, but
we've done the new couple.
we've done Lucky and Anna.
Yeah.
We've done Tunde and Marie.
Yeah.
We've done Ray and Sean.
Yeah.
Tang and Temi. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think because Michael and Lauren are out, there's no one else.
No one else. Oh, okay. I thought we had more to
Me
to
too.
do.
I thought there was another couple. If we're missing one,
Yeah.
I don't know
who it is.
I don't know who it is.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's the review that we have for this week.
Yes.
And yeah, thank you for taking the time to listen to our podcast.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, we're really appreciative. As we say, like, subscribe, and
Share.
And what else?
That's it. And no, like, subscribe, and share. Yeah.
And share, yeah. And if there's anything that you want to add in the comments, if you're enjoying this, let us know. If there's anything that we've said wrong, let us know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're always open to criticism, and hopefully that we can have healthy conversations. So yeah, until next time, take care of yourselves.
Yes.
And yeah,
Bye-bye.
bye-bye.